What's up, guys? I'm Daemonxel, and we're going to continue our raid series of my personal teams and where I'm at, built up with my teams and where I'm scoring with those teams in Chapter 2. And again, this is all pre-glyph. Glyphs are not out yet, so I'm expecting to double my scores once glyphs do come out. I'm going to try and keep this video a little bit shorter, try not to hit that 30-minute mark. I will fast forward through some of the teams that don't really need explanations of how to score or what to do with them. That being said, let's talk about it. Now, obviously, I'm going to keep the camera in the correct position. In fact, let me do that right now. There we go. I'm going to switch this over. There we go. That's going to be a lot better so that I'm not covering up the ability bar like I did on the first one. I do apologize for that. Again, let's jump right into the raids and let's start running these. And we're going to start off with, let's see. We're going to start off with my Rivendell team. Let's get out of this cutscene, and we're going to bump this up to difficulty 3 for them. Now, I'm not going to be running Naramiri in Chapter 2 because what I really need is damage. Obviously, this is going to be one of my other teams that I run. This is my Team 5. But as you can see here, they're only 19,000. They are not going to be running difficulty 3. They are going to get stomped. So they're going to do difficulty 2. But let's put in our main team here. It's going to be Elladan, Elrond, Arwind, Elro here, and Lomian. Yes, he's not fully built up. Yes, he is 6 stars, but even his abilities are not 4s across the board. I don't think I touched on that. Let's see here. Show you exactly what I got with him. And here we go. Yeah, I'm 3, 4, 4, and 4. He is gear tier 7, and he is level 52. So he's not at max level. He's not at that gear tier 8, and he's not even at the straight 4s. But we're going to use him because he will produce a lot more damage than Naramiri. So without that, let's continue. And of course, I'm probably going to fast forward through this after I talk about exactly what I do with my opening. Now, since this is my most built up team, and Elro here has, a 6 in his basic, and he has the 6 in his passive, so he's always retaliating. What I'm going to do is I'm going to expose, and yes, unfortunately, it's only a 1-turn expose. All right, we got rid of 1 momentum there. We're going to wait and hold off to build up another momentum. Now, because of that, I'm going to open up with a taunt, because I always want him to retaliate when the stone troll hits him. That's pretty much it, and I'm just going to do as much damage as I possibly can to get him to topple, and then beat him down, afterwards. So with that, I'm going to fast forward from this point to the end of the match. All right, and right here, I'm going to unpause it here or slow it down. Oh, also, if I haven't already said so before, guys, there is a trick to stopping the timer, so you don't have to force yourself for 9 minutes. You can actually pause it, and once you hit resume, the timer itself will stop counting down, so you can have an indefinite amount of time to finish this. Now, what I'm going to do here is why I was using basic moves with Elrond is because I want to hit him with the tidal wave and create that slow. Once he gets that slow on him, unfortunately we have a drummer here, but now that once he gets that slow on him, I'll be able to take my time in killing him. So he's got that slow on him. What I want to do is I want to take out this drummer so he doesn't advance any further. Now I can use the rest of these guys to build, just using basics, building up the rest of my specials to continue on further down the line. And of course, I can use a heal here to gain the extra stamina to build this up faster. But you know what? We're just going to use him to just kind of take these guys out. And now we can take him down, and we got our first topple. Now this is where it runs in. If you guys have done this before, obviously you have if you're watching this. He's going to start hitting harder. He's going to start doing the cave-ins, and this is where it gets more complex. Now, the highest I've hit on this, I believe... Let's bring this up here. The highest I've hit was 417,000 with this team. But yeah, as you can see, Chapter 2, is my weakest chapter out of all of them. The highest I've ever hit was 1.3 million on this. And let's just continue on. And again, I'm going to fast forward now until the end. Here you see it, 438,000. It is higher than what we did last week, so I am going to submit this because I'm not hitting where I'm supposed to be. If I had Lomian raised up with his abilities, if I had Arwen Special 2 or Special 1, actually gone up to 6, if I had Eldon's Special 2 up to a 6, if I had Lomian's stuff up to 6, again, all this stuff would enable me to score a lot higher than 438,000, but this is my weakest chapter. And if you guys have any pointers with currently what I'm working with on this team, shout it out in the description. Oh, sorry, not in the description, in the comments below. But we're going to move on to our other teams. Our next team is we're going to use full Isengard. We can try it on a difficulty 3, but as you can see, I'm just going to get stomped. And that's why I run this, even though total power here is, let's see here, we can do Dunher, Marja, there we go. That's a full Isengard right there. And 25,000, I should be hitting more than what I am, but unfortunately I'm not hitting those marks. They are all level 50 except for Ugluk, which I think is 55 right now, but they all need to come up another 10 levels. They need all to be level 60, and they all need to come up to gear tier 8 for me to see vast improvement on them, as well as skills. So let's go ahead and run this. We're going to run it fast forward. We're going to do it in 3. If I can't even get to the first topple or beat that first topple, then obviously we're just going to drop back and hit difficulty 2. We're going to forfeit it right there because Dunher was taken out with a 1-hit. And as you can see, I'm not able to stick the Banes that I'm putting on him, which means our bleeds aren't going in, our slows aren't working, our blind isn't hitting. So with that, again, they need to be higher leveled, they need to be better geared, and the abilities need to be brought up more. And yeah, now this team is mostly all 4s. I think there's 2 characters. I think Maher's passive is out of 3, and I think someone else's passive is out of 3. But other than that, they're pretty much all 4s. So we're going to go ahead and just drop this down to difficulty 2, and we're going to try and hit that 300 mark on difficulty 2. Now, obviously, I would have gotten a lot higher if I was able to get that second topple. That was just an RNG issue. We had the War Guard there that had to provoke. If I didn't have that provoke there, we would have gotten that second topple, which would have probably pushed us closer to that 300 mark, and then I'd be able to clean up on that third round right there. So, obviously, we're just going to keep continuing and doing that until I get that score. And, we'll come back to this at the end. I'm going to just run through the other teams, and then I'll run it. I'll stop the video. I'll run the teams. But that's the strategy I'll go with this team, is try to land all those Banes on them. Again, this team is not built up, because obviously if they were fully built up with ability-wise, there would be so many bleeds on this, and I'd be able to get them within a topple, probably within 2 rounds, 2 turns of each character. You know, we would have about 4 bleeds on them per turn. So, yeah. So as you can see, the abilities matter in these chapters, and that's where I gotta go with these guys. Now, if you're wondering what I scored with them beforehand, the highest I've gotten with them all together is 267,000. The Horadrim, the highest I got was 254,000. The Rohan 3, the highest I ever got with them in this chapter is 253. And my Balance Expedition is 142,000. So I'm going to run through both those other 3 teams so you can see how I run that. And then off camera, I'll run them all again, because I'm just showing you guys what I do with this. And then I'll show you my total scores at the end for this week. All right, guys, so we ran it again off camera. On what I decided to do was, because it was late when I was recording this and I needed to get the runs in, I just went ahead and recorded the runs themselves, and now we have it on the video in the background here. We're going to watch the runs, and I'm going to explain to you what I did. And obviously some of the runs I will fast forward through, but I want to talk about what I'm doing with these other teams, specifically the Rohan 3, specifically Horadrim, how I'm going about those fights. So we're going to go ahead and submit this score of 261,000, because it is in line with where they are currently right now. And yeah, we're just going to submit that, and we're going to move on to the next team, which will be the Rohan 3. And in this Rohan 3, I was able to bring Éowyn up to 5 stars. Éowyn's abilities are at 4s, but everyone else is still at 3s, some at 4s. We're also going to use Strider. He's at a 7-star, so we'll be able to take a hit or 2. We're going to bring Gazra Ironhide, because he's 7-star. Again, both those characters are not really built up. And as you can see, we're going to go ahead and attempt a difficulty 3, because we are at just about a 30,000 power. But because of their levels, right? And they're not at gear tier 8. They don't have the abilities. We are not going to have the focus to land our Banes, which is going to help us overall with the damage of the Cave Troll. We need those burns to stick. We need those exposes to stick so we can cause more damage. Because Chapter 2 itself is a DPS check, and every topple that you get through is more and more of a DPS check. Now, obviously, right here, we have to deal with momentum stacks, right? And counterattacks, just like everywhere else. As you can see here, difficulty 3, I'm not able to land the burn. I'm not able to land the expose. And we're just going to kind of get rid of that stack. And we're just going to keep going through. But this is going to be a failed run. Because I'm not even going to be able to get him to that first topple with this team. They just do not have the ability to land their Banes to help us out. So I need to bring these guys up to at least level 60. I need to bring their abilities up to 4s. And I need to get them all at gear tier 8. But yeah, as you can see here, I'm just getting stomped right now. And it's a very slow process of whittling him down. But they're not going to be able to survive. Because with this setup, we only have 1 cleanse. And we have no really healing. We have the healing between Éowyn and Éomer, but there's no group heals at all. So basically, this is a glass cannon kind of team. You're just throwing pure damage at it and hoping that you can just out-damage him before your heal checks come in. So we're going to lose, you're going to see in a moment, we're going to lose Strider, we're going to lose Éowyn, And basically that's going to constitute a failed run, because we will not even be able to get him to that first topple, let alone through that first topple to give us the score that we need to move forward. So right here, we're going to go ahead and I think we go about another round or two between the characters here. And we're just going to call it quits. And we're going to bring this difficulty down to a 2, which will be a lot easier with this team. We'll be able to stick our Banes. We'll be able to get our burns on there. We'll be able to get our exposes on there. We'll be able to do a lot more damage. But again, as soon as you come out of that first topple, he's going to start building those stacks of Enrage, which is going to build up his resistance. You're not going to be able to stick the Banes as much as you were with the previous topple, and if you go through the second topple, it's just going to be that much more afterwards. So again, this is a glass cannon build. We're just kind of burning through. It's not a well-balanced team because, again, this is a DPS check. But as you can see, we've landed our expose, we've landed our burn, and our burn took off a huge chunk right there of health. And we're just bringing him down to red. The burn's going to bring him down the rest of the way that we need. There we go. And again, we have no slow with this team. And with no slow, we have to burn him down immediately. We're going to use our AoEs to take care of the adds on either side of the cave troll. And we're going to use our weaker characters to go ahead and basic them down, just so that they're not going to get hit with the counterattack of the cave troll. So that's a good tip right there. If you guys have some weaker members on your team, and if there are adds up, use them to take out the adds. Guys, if there's counterattacks up, if there's no counterattacks up, go ahead and just hit the cave troll. But other than that, yeah, if they can't really take a hit, have your tankier characters get rid of those stacks of counterattack. So we're going to get to the second burn here. Sorry, the second topple. But RNG is going to play a factor in this. We're not going to be able to burn through the second topple because we're going to lose Lady Éowyn. We're going to lose Éowyn in a second here. He's just going to stomp them both down into the ground. And even at 5-star, they can take a hit, but they can't survive after getting 44 stacks that are range. See, they're both gone now. And with the days on Éowyn, we don't have the DPS needed to bring him through this second topple. So we're going to finish off this run currently with, I think it's about 198,000. So you could go through a couple rounds and just take your high score. The highest score I've gotten with this team is, I believe, 258,000 across all the weeks that I've been tracking this. And that's kind of where I want to be. I want to go past what I did the previous week. If you either want to be in line, but if you can push further, if you've built up the team a little bit between your last run and the current run you're doing, then yes, try to go for a higher score. But sometimes frustration and RNG play a huge factor, and if you are feeling burnt out of the run, if you can just get close to the score that you had the previous week, that's fine too. So as you can see, we finished out with 198,000. We're going to pop over to the chart here, and as you can see, 253,000, not 258, is our top score that we've gotten. But we did a run here, and we made a change. As you can see here, I'm just going to pause the video. We made a change. We dropped Éowyn out of this run that I did off camera, and we brought in Naramiri because we needed the extra heals to just keep us alive, and I was able to get through that second topple, and we got the highest score we've gotten with this team, which is 260,000, and we're going to go ahead and submit this score, because again, it's higher than we did the week before. It's the highest we've done with this makeup, and again, don't feel locked in to your teams. You can mix and match for each chapter to maximize your scores, guys. Don't feel like you need to run a full, I just need to run these guys, and these are the only guys I can run with this run. You can switch things up to help you progress further. And if you guys have any kind of suggestions, if you guys see with my makeup, the teams that I'm running, the abilities that we've gone over and stuff like that, if you see that I'm doing something wrong, that maybe I can tweak something here or there to grab a bigger score, go ahead and let me know in the comments below. I'm always open to hear suggestions. I love talking about this. I love helping the community, and I love that the community back as well and helps each other out. So we're going to submit this score, and we're going to go next with the Haradrim, which I find is a very fun team to play with in Chapter 2. And the reason is just because of everything that they bring to the table. And again, we want to bring Wabute and Robel in those first 2 pillar spots to make sure they're going to get Bekalu's concentration if there's no Banes that need to be cleansed. And again, I'm running on difficulty 2. I'm not even bumping up to difficulty 3 because I made no changes from the previous week with this team. So, of course, they're not going to be able to score any higher. So, we're going to try and land Black Serpent's Poison, which we can't do. We're going to use the basic and her special 2 from Robel just to kind of measure the take control of the round, bring his bar down, his turn meter down. All right, we can land the Black Serpent Poison, which will, it'll help us not build up more momentum stacks. We're going to do a haste here and cleanse. Now, you may be wondering why I'm holding on to Wabute's special 2. And the reason being is, as soon as the topple goes down, right? As soon as he's toppled, we want to go ahead and launch that to get the slow on him. Because now with Robel's turn meter, with her special 2 and her basic, we'll be able to basically indefinitely work down the adds. So we're going to use, we're just going to use a basic here, I believe. Black Serpent's Poison, weaken, and a hit. Now, I'm going through basically, I want to do the concentration, so I want to make sure it sticks. Now, as you can see here, we got the slow on. Now, we can just kill the adds at our leisure. And once we're killing the adds, we want to use our basics doing this, because we're building up our abilities so that we'll be able to use our hard-hitting abilities to bring the Cave Troll down to a topple again. And that's all basically this is with this team, is control of turn meter. Applying the swell on the topple. Bringing that turn meter down indefinitely. Now, obviously, I'm not able to stick it as much as I want to in this. I need to bring her ability up so she sticks it every single time. Because right now it's a hit or miss. But yeah, we're going to start working on the War Guard here. We don't want to get hit with a counterattack. And that's basically rinse and repeat for the next round. This is bring him down to a topple, apply that slow, take control of his turn meter, and yeah, and then you just keep running that till you hit victory. Now, as you see, as those range stacks are building up, though, it's going to be harder and harder to stick our slow, to stick our turn meter, to stick the weaken. Basically, all and the Black Serpent's Poison and stuff like that. His resistance is building, and we need more focus. So once the glyphs come out, I'm definitely going to apply focus to this team. But I think once the glyphs come out, you're going to see this team really take off in Chapter 2. Like they advertised originally, how they were going to be the masters of Chapter 2. So we'll see once we get those glyphs in. Same, we're going to do turn meter. Yep, there we go. Applied. We're going to do a slow. Now, the slow did not apply to the Cave Troll, so we're going to have to work him down. Even with the adds up, we're going to have to work him down. Again, turn meter didn't hit right there. And that's why sometimes its runs are easier than others. But we want to bring him down. There, we got that second topple. We're at 248,000. Now we kind of just deal with what we got left on the board. Now, of course, his momentum stacks are building. His resistance is going to be a lot higher with that 35. I think it's in range. I'm probably screwing this up, but as that climbs, again, he's going to hit harder. He's going to resist a lot more of our stuff. But right now, we're just kind of shooting for the best score we possibly can right now. Again, a lot of these teams I have not even hit 300,000 with, but we're just trying to beat our last week's score. And now he's just going to take out everyone. Now, I don't know if this run beats the week prior. Yep, 254,000. And it's in line. The highest we've ever gotten was 259,000. But we're going to keep it because we're right in line with where I want it to be. And we're going to just continue on. So the last team we're going to use is Baggins Expedition. And that's Baggins Expedition with Philly and Killy. There's no secrets to working this team. It's just about attacking as hard as you can, sticking, cleansing the banes that are on you. And again, they don't have a slow either. So because they do not have a slow, again, you're going to use the same principle as with the Rohan 3. You are going to want to go ahead and just burn him down through the topple. So once he starts getting into yellow range, you want to make sure that you can have your hard-hitting abilities with this team so that you'll be able to take advantage of them during that topple phase. And again, you want to use Killy's Special 1 to remove... Obviously, it locks the abilities, but you want that to go ahead and use that to remove the stacks of momentum. Get an expose on there. See, we're going to use that. We're going to drop 2 stacks of momentum. We're going to hold off on his special 2. We want to keep that for when he does go into the topple phase. Just kind of basically whittling him down now. There we go. Now this is going to suck. We have a War Guard and a Skull Crusher. Ideally not what we want, but we need to burn him down fast. And then we'll deal with the adds afterwards. Now, this was a failed run right here because the War Guard, we couldn't even get through the first stack because of that provoke. So, obviously, we're going to do this. And this one, I'm just going to run through fast forward for you guys. Let's see. We got to the first topple here. And we got the Skull Crusher, and we got, was it the flame guy? I forget the name. But we're going to use our hard-hitting abilities right now to get rid of this topple. And then we'll deal with the adds afterwards. There. So we're at 122,000. Now we got to deal with the adds. Get rid of some of those abilities there. Again, this team, because of the way they run, it's really all about RNG and how far you can push them. Now, obviously, at higher levels, more star levels, more gear, ability-wise, they are going to outperform especially what I'm doing right now. They will be scoring on the upscale of difficulty 3. I think somewhere around 750k. I could be wrong. Let's just drag this across. Let's see where we leave them. And as you can see, the highest I've gotten with this team is 142,000. So anywhere between 135 and 142, I'll be fine with. We did that. We got 136,000 after a few runs that were not filmed. And we're going to, because it was like 4 more runs, we're just going to go ahead and keep that score. And we're going to submit that score. So that's all our teams. That's going to give us a grand total of, as soon as I get to the personal rewards, because I was very tired at this point, it was like 1:30 in the morning, 1.3 million on Chapter 3. I believe this is my highest run thus far. It definitely beats last week by 100k. Yeah, our previous week was not even, just about 100k, 75,000. We were at 1.275. This week we're at 1.350. So, again, this is how I ran my Chapter 2. Hopefully it helps you guys. Mileage may differ, but I hope you guys found this video informative, entertaining at least. And until I talk to you guys again, have a great week, have a great weekend, adventure safe, and good luck to you.